and my rooster loves me. I'm gonna cherish that chicken neath the green bay tree. My little rooster goes cock-a-doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. And I love my little hen, and my hen, she loves me. I'm gonna cherish my hen neath the green bay tree.
You're listening to Strange Findings. For more unusual events, odd occurrences, and strange things, visit facebook.com/ZTO TV. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
Little hen goes cluck cluck, little rooster goes cock-a-doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo.
All right, everybody, welcome to a brand new show right here on the Zombie Takeover Media Network. I am Franklin, and on the phone I have Ray McGuff here.
Hello!
And you're listening to Strange Findings. We're just going to go over a few topics. We each have 3 stories that we're going to discuss. But right up front, I just want to know, has anything weird happened to you lately, Ray? I mean, you did go Christmas shopping today. That usually leads to some things.
Yeah, I mean, it was your normal... It's like Walmart has been taken over by fat hog people. And what I mean by that is I'm pretty sure Darwin was a little incorrect. I think that some people originated on farmlands in Ireland, the giant fat hog people. I don't know how else to describe them. Their faces have mutated back into that sunken pig face. I'm on a wheelchair, looking for the best deal. I'm going to eat everything.
People always throw me into the category of Grinch, which I hate that term, first of all, every year, because I try to not say anything, but then I always fucking end up snapping at some point really close to the holidays. I just did it the other day at work. This girl was, first of all, singing Christmas carols, which is annoying. And then, second of all, she kept telling every fucking customer, I'm in the retail customer service business. She kept telling every customer that went through her line that she had to buy presents for her dog. And that made me want to throw her through the front plate glass window. I was so, like, come on. And she was telling me about how she was going to have to call her mom because she doesn't have a car to take her to the Tractor Supply store to buy a big bone for both of her dogs. And now, if my son was old enough to purchase things for people and had a job and stuff, and he called me and said, "Dad, I really need to go to the Tractor Supply store to pick up a rawhide chew for my dumbass dog," I would berate him right immediately over the phone. I would make him feel stupid, and he would never call me again.
Right, yeah, me too.
But, yeah.
Oh, you need to get your dog something? You need to work on getting your life together.
Well, this is the same person that at one point I got irritated at her because she was trying to compare having little brothers, because she has several elementary school age siblings is what she constantly calls them. She tried to compare that to having actual children. She was comparing it to my kids that I have here at the house, which will probably interrupt at some point during this show. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens.
All right.
But let's dig into it. We got a format here. I've figured out, we're going to have segments. So up first, I would like to hear what your stories are. So let's hear your findings, Ray. Ray's findings.
Okay, first up, neuroscientist. That's the headline, Vice News, okay?
Right.
That's where I got this source. Neuroscientist Randall Cohn has been working this last couple of years on uploading his entire brain to the cloud, which you're familiar with. We may have to explain it to non-familiar people. But that's just basically an empty space of the internet that's being filled with information that you can pull from.
That anyone can pull from, right? That's where all these leaks from Jennifer Lawrence and all the celebrities came from. So,
yes, that's right. He wants to put his brain on the cloud and then upload it to a supercomputer that he's working on in hopes of one day being able to download it into a robot body. Oh. Now, here's my thing with that. I love this kind of shit. I hope it happens. But it starts to delve into, it makes my brain fold in on itself when I start to think about it. Because here's the thing, right?
Right.
Say he actually accomplishes this task. Okay.
Indeed. Yeah. Right.
And his entire brain is mapped and it's put into a robot body.
Mm-hmm.
Is that him, or is that a like twins? You know, like you got twins, but they'll have different personality traits here and there.
Right.
Because from that point on, you're no longer learning exactly what you live in your life. You're learning what the robot body will allow you to do. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah. There's unless the AI would be like advanced beyond belief. It's just going to be like how a computer learns. I mean,
right.
Like that computer.
And if you die, as the person die, okay. Right. And that map, like, are you self-aware? Is your consciousness uploaded in this? You know,
do you just
really
move
weird.
over to that? Like, is that where all your
Right.
conscious? I mean, if you look at it, like, it could be like a drop of maybe your essence might be in there. So maybe there's a little. I don't know, man. That shit's fucking crazy.
Well, I was thinking the only way to do it perfectly was if he waited until the minute he was about to die. Like, they're like, all right, he's going off of life support, and then they hit upload. Because then
Right.
From there on, your eyes would be closed, and then you would have to wake up. Right? I mean,
so do you think that you know how they say the body loses 21 grams of weight whenever a person passes away? Do you think that the robot or computer would gain 21 grams? Would they? I don't know.
That's the thing. Like, I don't believe in a soul, like the biblical sense of it, but whatever makes us tick, that electromagnetic gear that, like you're talking about, those grams,
right?
Whatever that is, would have to go somewhere, right? So,
yeah, right.
Does it get uploaded into that, or does it just go back to the collective and it becomes a newborn baby in the Sudan?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you got to be worried if you're going to upload your entire brain into the cloud. What things are you loading into public domain? Because essentially that's what the cloud is, right? It's not really
Right.
that secure if people are getting all kinds of shit stolen out of there all the time.
But right now, that's the biggest area that he has. Like, it can hold a brain. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's not that secure. But here's another thing, too. Like, if I had a robot body, I would be a horrible person.
Oh, yeah.
So from there on out, is it going to be evil Randy? Like, going around just crushing people's larynxes that I don't like?
Oh, man. Yeah, you would just... yeah. You wouldn't care about anything anymore. There would be no fear of your physical body becoming injured or destroyed because there's replacement parts, like whatever. I broke an arm off, but I can just go get a new one that's better and has a fucking blade on it or something. But yeah.
And they better have all my robot dick gear connected before they upload my consciousness.
Like with all the hydraulic boosters and whatever.
There better be sensations in my ball sack. My robot ball sack.
Right. Well, what else you got there? What's your second news article or item?
Okay. The next one is the University of Texas in Austin, Texas. They had a little mishap the other day. It turns out they've got 100 brains that are missing from one of their laboratories.
Wow.
One of the brains, though, belonged to the clock tower sniper Charles Whitman that murdered some people.
Right.
I think it was in the 60s or 70s. So here's a few questions that I had when I was reading this article. What the fuck are they doing with 100 brains?
Exactly. That would be mine.
Stole
That was mine. Oh well, why did they? Why? What are they doing with them? Training people? Right. What do they do? I mean, I understand that this was a university, correct? Is that for the medical department or biology? Are they dissecting these brains? Or
yes, they are. They're studying them and brain patterns and they look for little things like, especially with serial killers like Whitman. They look for disconnects and things.
So what would anybody do with 100 human brains?
Here's my theory. Charles Whitman cult. They didn't know which one was which, so they took all of them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they could, or maybe it was connected to the scientist you just mentioned. Maybe he's trying to find more information on how to create a synthetic brain for his robot.
But, that could be. Other factors. Casual zombies.
Yeah.
You know?
Casual
Just
zombies.
who want. Yeah, you know, zombies who are like, man, I really don't want to go out and murder this weekend. I'm just going to have a few brains.
Yeah, right.
Throw them on the old Spitfire.
I'm just gonna hang out here in my bed, and I'm just gonna just chew on a couple. That's all.
Chew a few brains.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was a crazy story.
Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like reading through. I'm like, I go, what?
What kind of what kind of security do they have there? Is it like the level that Walter White had in Breaking Bad, where he was just stealing shit? It must be somebody in there, right?
It's probably one old man. I mean, if you're guarding a giant school, the brain department's probably like last year. Like, who's going to do that? It's just some old guy that's retired and he's just trying to get a little extra money.
Yeah, somebody just backed a truck up and they just loaded it up like oranges, and there he goes.
Right. I like to imagine that they're all dressed like ninjas. I don't know why, but it seems better. Like the
well, yeah. I mean, that's way more exciting than just some fat guy in a U-Haul, you know.
Right, covered in Cheetos
and brain drippings. Yeah, man, that's nuts. I can't even imagine what. But the world is crazy, and that's why we decided to do this show. Yeah, man. I don't know what you'd do with one human brain unless you were consuming it, honestly. Maybe there's a black market for human brains. Who knows?
There's an underground network of Hannibal Lecter type people that are...
Well, it would be connected
like,
to... it would be connected to the Illuminati, of course. If you had,
oh, absolutely.
I mean, if you see some of the weird shit that they... I don't know. I seen a hotel room that was Illuminati based not too long ago. It was like somebody had got this hotel room in this fancy hotel, and it was this weird small, like dungeon themed is what they called it, room. But it was like had a picture of a weird businessman who was connected to the Illuminati, and there was odd art on the walls, and it was just strange altogether. But who knows? They could have a whole brain cartel going on. And we would never know. But what's your third topic there, Ray?
Well, my third topic's a little less funny, but it's something I needed to get out. Hold on. Yeah, it's about these New York City cops that were killed the other day. Okay.
Right.
Look, I'm sick and tired. Like I like Facebook, because I can say an opinion and get a little conversation going. But I hate it when other people start to use it for like a soapbox. I'll allow it because everybody needs to have their own opinion on there. That's what starts conversations. But I'm sick of seeing the last 2 days this guy. There's no war on cops. What there's a war on is police brutality. Okay, the idea of how police is what there's a war on, not actual physical cops. The guy that killed these two cops was mentally ill. He had access to firearms, like we've tried to fix a million times in this country, and nobody wants to give up their fucking Second Amendment right even a little bit to make that better, right? No. So this guy runs up and shoots two cops, and I hate to say it, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but cops get killed every day. It's part of their job. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And so for these people on Facebook, they're like using that to stoke this fire, to blame it on the riots and the people that... are reporting that it's a true fact in this nation right now that more people are being killed and executed by cops that are unarmed citizens than it's a record number high. I don't have the exact figure in front of me, but it's a record high, and they're trying to force it back like the media is painting this as we should go out and kill cops, which is bullshit. No. And so, what I want to say is people are stupid. There's no war on cops.
Right.
And what you need to realize is that most officers of the law are there because they feel a civic responsibility. But there's a lot of cops out there right now that are feeling some kind of sick fantasy need to be in control.
See, when you look at it like, okay, anybody who wants to become a cop is either I hate to put people in groups, but they're either one of two kinds of people. They're either somebody who grew up and idolized and put policemen in a hero category, and they wanted to be heroes, and that's as close to a superhero as you can be as someone who stops crime. Now, and we've all seen the movies, Sylvester Stallone's a badass cop, or Arnold Schwarzenegger's a badass cop. That's a dream for some people when they're a little kid, and some people grow up and they realize it's not really what they wanted it to be, and they get paid almost the same as a teacher, and it's not worth it. But then there's the other people who are just, they were fucked over in high school and whatever, and they get mad and they want to take revenge out on the stoners or the cool kids that were out drinking and whatever, so then they become a cop. I mean, that's basically the two kind of people I can see. I mean, there's nobody who's like, man, I really need a job. I should probably go get paid $9 an hour to almost die, maybe. I mean, because that's essentially, they're not getting paid very much money, and I kind of see where they're coming from whenever, if I'm getting paid that little amount of money, I don't want to deal with any danger. If somebody runs at me, I might shoot them, you know? If someone's going to attack me physically, the easiest thing to do is probably shoot them. I mean, you want to go home and have dinner too, but anyways, yeah, I get sick of things being misinterpreted all day long on Facebook, and that's one of the big ones right now. And all, you know, you can say whatever you want to about police brutality and violence and stuff, but what right does anyone have if a cop accidentally or purposely shoots someone? What right do 300 or 400 or 1,000 people have to destroy an entire community?
They have a constitutional right to do that.
Yeah, but what? But why?
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that historically, and I looked it up after, because I defended the... Look, I'm not saying burning your city down is a smart thing to do. It's the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard in my life.
Right.
But historically, change has happened in this nation when the citizens rose up and burned their fucking houses down and other people's houses down, because it stops everything in its tracks, and people have to take notice and listen. They have to at that point.
Yeah,
and it goes all the way back to the founding of the nation, all the way back.
Yeah, but there was a lot of things that happened
riots in the 60s. So.
There's a lot of things that happened back in the founding of our nation that I'm glad doesn't happen anymore. I mean,
me too. Oh, me too, dude. I'm just saying though.
I'm just saying.
There's a historical precedent though when people say it's never been a thing, that it's always been a thing.
Oh yeah,
but I think the problem now is that we should all be smart enough now by this point to go, man, that doesn't really apply now. What we need to do is what they're doing right now: lock arms, walk, march,
peacefully,
block like they did Saturday.
Show people
peacefully.
Show America and every other country that we are in 2014. We're not in 14. You know, we're not. I don't even know why there would ever be still be religion. Honestly, I mean, for God's sakes,
me neither.
How fucking long have we been sitting here with the world directly in our face, like reality, sitting here and staring us straight in the face, and we still have to rely on that. We can't rely on what we know to be true in our hearts, essentially, is the way I feel. But anyways, let's move on, because I got I got some topics here. I don't want to get hung up on that too long, you know. But I have my findings for the week. Frank's findings. And this first one I got here, I pulled from the Huffington Post. They have a weird news section that I've never really looked at. I don't know if you've checked that out or not, but
I used to check it out all the time before the internet access at my work was shut off.
Oh wow, that's nice of them.
Yeah.
But well, evidently a New York multimillionaire is guilty of dropping his pants and peeing on a candy aisle in a CVS pharmacy. Now, as a person who works in retail, I'm surprised this hasn't happened at my store, because we have a lot of booze in there, and we have a lot of drunk people that come in. And I'm surprised. I mean, there's been people that came in and had piss in their pants. That's a little different, though. But,
Aaron, I'm losing you, buddy.
Oh, are you? You still there?
I can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I was holding the phone wrong. Is it clearing up at all?
No, I still can't hear you.
Okay, is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Essentially, 71-year-old Robert Durst's first bizarre accusation, or his most shocking, Durst, who comes from a line of wealthy family members who own real estate in Manhattan, pleaded no contest on Tuesday to a charge of criminal mischief, urinating on candy in a Houston, Texas pharmacy. So, I mean, It says evidently it only cost, it was only $100 worth of wasted candy. But the thing that caught me off guard on this is the other shit this guy has done. It says this crime is tame compared to his other accusations that hang over his head. In 1982, Durst was a suspect in the disappearance of his first wife, Kathy. Durst waited several days before reporting her missing, and friends of the woman said he was physically abusive. In 2000, Durst was a suspect in the murder of his then-friend, Susan Berman, who was found shot in the back of the head. And then in 2003, he successfully claimed self-defense in the killing of 71-year-old Morris Black. Now, the thing about this one is, he chopped that person into bits. So, I don't know how much self-defense you need, but chopping someone into bits is a little bit far, don't you think?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, evidently he was he killed 3 people, essentially, according to this article. And the most he got out of the whole thing was $500 fine for peeing on candy. So, that's the more you know. The more you can get away with, the more you know. And,
I just like that people that are that wealthy are coming up with new things to do,
Yeah,
they probably get bored.
You gotta keep busy.
Yeah. You're like, man, you wake up, you have your maid make you some eggs and clean your house, and you go, shit, what am I going to do today? I think I'm going to go piss on the candy aisle at the CVS.
Yeah, just not even... Well, if you're a millionaire, you've probably done almost anything you would want. You probably get really bored really quick, and peeing on candy would get some reactions. I mean, for sure. But, yeah, I'm surprised that this hasn't happened at my work. Anyways, on to my next finding. Do you enjoy Monopoly? Are you a fan?
I like Monopoly from time to time.
Does it ever frustrate you and you just quit? Because that's what I usually do.
I'm sorry, man. You're cutting out again. I can't hear you.
Does it ever frustrate you and you just quit the game altogether?
When I put the game together?
Do you ever just quit it after so long?
Oh, quit it? Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple of times.
Well, I have several stories here about people killing or assaulting people over Monopoly games. Let's see here. 60-year-old Laura Chavez and 48-year-old Clyde Butch Smith, who were playing Monopoly with their 10-year-old grandson in Santa Fe, New Mexico, were playing Monopoly. At some point, Chavez caught Smith cheating. They started to fight and sent their grandson to his bedroom. Smith apparently hit Chavez over the head with a wine bottle, and she attacked him with a knife. She stabbed and slashed him a number of times around the chest, neck, and face. But Chavez survived.
Go directly to jail, did not collect $200.
Right. But that guy survived. In another case, two best friends, it says, 25-year-old Mark Sionakowski, I can't read that, whatever it is, one of those Polish names, and 31-year-old Michael, another Polish name, a couple Polish fellas. How many Poles does it take to kill each other over Monopoly? 2. But as anyone who's ever played the game before knows, you can make your own rules. A fight broke out, punches were thrown, and then one of the fellows pulled out a compound bow and shot the other one in the chest while he was getting in his car. Wow. Now, I've played a lot of games of Monopoly, and I don't think I've ever got that mad about it. I couldn't imagine if it was like a poker game or something.
Right. I mean, I've gotten very mad at poker games too. Usually, I just quit Monopoly. I'll just go. This is stupid. I give up.
Right.
A poker game one time, I went all in on this guy who kept baiting me, to go all in, and he had the upper hand. And I stood up and I said, you're all a bunch of fucking cunts, and I left.
Well,
that's the maddest I've ever been.
yeah. I've been, and well, when you've got money on it, I mean, when it's actual money, it makes sense. But I couldn't imagine shooting someone with a compound bow for, whatever. But let's move on to my last topic here, Ray.
All right.
This might come as a surprise to you because it did to me when I ran across this. Did you know that Sammy Davis Jr. Dabbled in Satanism in the 70s?
No.
Yeah. Davis's relationship with the Church of Satan began in 1968 after he was invited to a party by a group of young actors. He had a great time, continued attending the parties, and eventually joined the church when it was ran by Anton LaVey.
You're kidding me.
No, this is all true, man. And to prove my point, you can go on YouTube, and I'll probably play a little audio clip from this. In 1973, Sammy made himself the star. This was along with Jack Klugman in a sitcom, a satanic sitcom. There was only a pilot made. It's called Poor Devil, and you can find it on YouTube.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Davis is a bumbling, coal-shoveling demon who's offered a chance to move up if he can score a soul for hell.
Well, Lucifer himself says that when someone's really desperate, that's the time they'll sell their soul.
Hey, maybe you're right.
I know I'm right. Oh, boy. If I could only get the boss to let me have a crack at him.
Sammy, why don't you go in and see him?
See him? I can't even talk to him, Chelsea. I haven't been inside of that office in 400 years.
He's still mad at you the way you handled the Pilgrims at Plymouth Rock, huh?
Yeah. Nobody told me they weren't supposed to land.
Yeah. And you can actually find, I was looking around, and you can actually find pictures of Sammy Davis Jr. with a pentagram, like necklace. So, evidently, I know that he was Jewish. He went to, become a Jewish person later on by decision or whatever. But
yeah, to marry that lady.
Yeah, he was only involved with it for a short period of time, a few years, I guess. But his quote is, his involvement with the church was a short-lived interest, and he still has many friends in the Church of Satan. Yeah. So that makes you wonder, who else was involved with that? Because I heard Marilyn Monroe and all these other people might have been, but yeah. Definitely
but
check
there's no
it.
record of them, huh?
I didn't want to do a book report on the whole thing. This just popped up, and I was like, "What?" So, yeah, just make sure you go to YouTube and look up "Poor Devil" with Sammy Davis.
I will, and they're doing some great things nowadays. This Church of Satan, man.
or you're talking about the Temple of Satan, because that's a different one. The Temple of Satan.
Is that the?
Yeah, they're the ones that did
that's the Hobby Lobby people. Okay.
They did the what was it? The gay thing over. What's that? The guy that was that crazy God Hates Fags church.
Oh yeah.
They did
I forget them.
They made him gay in the afterlife, essentially, by having lesbians kiss over his grave.
Yeah.
And then they were the ones.
Then
the statue.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the statue. That's the thing I heard the most about, and I think it's genius.
Oh yeah,
and
man.
So people get so mad. Like I was telling this older lady about it at my work, and she was like, "That is just unbelievable that they'd let that happen." And I went, "That they'd let what happen? That they'd let another faith besides your faith have
Right.
a exact same amount of space and time to convey their message?"
Yeah.
That's the most American thing we can do.
Exactly. And you know what? The people, groups like that, and the Pastafarian group, the Church of the Spaghetti Monster, whatever the hell it is.
I love those guys. Yeah.
I mean, it's stuff like that hopefully eventually at some point, like a giant backhandle, just hit everybody religious in the face. If something crazy happened, like fucking aliens came down, they'd be like, "What the fuck? Everything I believe is not existent anymore." You know, hopefully at some
They
point
they would factor it in. That's how crazy.
Oh,
they
yeah,
are, dude. They'd be like, "Oh, Jesus sent us aliens to help us with our crops."
you know, and I think if you can find peace in a religion, that's fine. But that's not what's happening. We're finding war with religion. Everyone's fighting over shit that doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. You know, and we would probably be far better off with like an entire civilization of nihilists, and then everything.
Agreed.
No one would even give a fuck because nothing that you do in life would matter at that point. But you know,
Right, did you hear that Randy shit on his front lawn and you know and they gave everyone the thumbs up in the neighborhood? No, I don't care.
no, it doesn't matter.
That would be amazing. You know?
Yeah, and we wouldn't be at war with people. There wouldn't be people blowing themselves up for gods that, you know, I guess they exist. You know, as much as anything else. But
they exist because you can't prove they don't, and I can't prove that they do, so they just do. What?
Right. I'm more likely to probably believe in Bigfoot. So
Yeah, I'm with Bradley on that.
I mean,
hear
he does
sometimes.
He does have evidence. You've
He does, I saw it.
You've seen the wood structures. You've seen the howls that he does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not out there just wasting his time in the woods. All right.
I can't wait. I can't wait to go one time. I really am going to go in the springtime with him.
And you know what? I
yeah,
can't wait to watch that.
Yeah.
So
JT Farva wants to go with us too.
Oh
The
my
comedian
god!
JT Farva.
I'll even go. I'll shoot the fucking thing as best I can. We'll have Mike. We'll have a fucking boom mic. We'll be out there all day.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But anyways, man, I think we should probably wrap this up. I think we got an episode in here. Anything you want to promote, plug, or anything here at the end?
Yeah, actually, Sloopy's Galloway. We were revisiting them January 23rd, Friday, January 23rd. I think everything's going to kick off at 8 p.m. I'm going to put together a Facebook page for it.
Right on.
Some of you may be going, Ray, why are you doing that again? And I'll be like, well, listen, guys. I talked to the owner. He really enjoyed it last time, even what he could hear. He and I have worked some things out behind the scenes to maybe make it a little bit more of an actual comedy club. Here's what's going to happen, though. Here's what's going to happen. If there are people that are disruptive, they're going to be asked to leave.
Right.
If that doesn't work and then it devolves into, like it did last time, just a giant dance party, the next thing I throw there will be Ray McGuff's giant dance party. And I will have a DJ. I've already talked to some DJ friends, and I'll just give some prizes away and do some witty banter here and there, and we'll have a big dance party next time. But,
you know what would be
real
real?
The comedy thing again.
If the comedy thing doesn't work and you do the DJ thing, make sure that you only get like 1930s swing band music or something weird that no one really wants to hear, and then say, "See that? That's what happens when shit doesn't go the way it's supposed to." All right.
Oh, it'll be a disaster, Frank. That's my plan. Is if the bar makes a whole shit ton of money again and I can't get a decent video out of it,
right?
The next thing I throw there will be. It will be the people will be booing and throwing things by the end. That's how bad it will be.
Well, you know what?
But
I think you can buy those air horns at like Walmart or something. I think you should maybe get one of those, and then if someone's interrupting you, you just blow that right in their face, and then say, "If I have to do that again, you will leave."
Sorry to mess up your West Side party tonight. Ain't no party like a West Side party because West Side party don't shut up. Shut the fuck up, Jesus Christ. I've been doing this for 4 years, and this is the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen in my life. So now do I have your fucking attention? All right, fantastic.
But I've got a little group, a little troupe of comedy guys up here now.
Yeah,
Frank,
I like
that
what's
are
going
really
on.
bugging me all the time. Yeah, I got it's going to be JT Farva, myself, Misty Johnson Calculator, Lucas, Big Kev's coming back, and my buddy Mikey G, who you could not hear any of his jokes last time.
No, that was the saddest thing too, because I was trying my hardest to edit it, and I couldn't mix the sound to make it sound better because, I have never in my life seen that amount of disrespect to anyone who has a microphone in their fucking hand. Even at a high school fucking event. Like at a high school, they throw you in the fucking gymnasium, the principal goes up and talks. You didn't get that kind of disrespect. It was insane, just noise.
Yeah. It was just a wall of sound, and so we're doing a few things this time to try to curb that and see what happens.
Right.
I told him I would do it one more time, but I said the only thing I get out of it besides, that rush that I like is that I get a clean video out when I do stuff for free like that.
Yeah, I mean, if the crowd would have kept it down to a respectable level of comedy audience, you would have got a good clean video out of it, and then you would have also everyone would have had their own little album, MP3 album,
Right.
And I couldn't really do much with it, so it was. Yeah,
I appreciate all the work you did on it, but I'm just looking forward to letting Mikey G have his moment in the sun one more time because he's a funny cat,
right.
And I want to be able to do that for him because for your first time that was like being thrown to the wolves, so I felt bad.
Oh yeah,
and I applaud the guy. He wants to come back out there one more time, give it one more shot. So.
They say you got to get those things out of the way. You got to have the bad experiences, and I think you've had plenty of those already. You deserve a few good ones. So.
Yep.
Yeah,
but I'll have more details on that coming up. I'm going to build a Facebook page and everything,
and then we'll have a little ad.
Yeah, we're going to shoot an ad, but we're going to do that tonight. But I don't think that's going to happen. I haven't heard from Farva yet tonight, and it's already kind of late. So
there'll be an ad that comes out
after after the holiday. I mean, that's coming up. It's just so stressful for everybody right now, but we'll be able to pop in there. It's right down the road at some point, but I'll get all the details to you. But that's about it. I mean, right now I'm just working on that, and then I'm moving January 10th. So I'll do a new episode of the Ray Cave, and maybe do like we did with the last one that we're not
little home sweet home thing or whatever.
A little home sweet home, yeah. I'll set something like that up too once I get moved in. But so I'll be internet unavailable starting January 8th all the way through till I get everything turned on. So.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to that. And as far as what I got coming out, I have several music projects. I might be shooting out a lot of that out of the summer stuff that I still have been sitting on. I had a couple paid jobs and I couldn't get to it, but I wanted to do individual videos of everybody that performed there. And then I've got new unfiltered content coming. And Allie Hatchett's going to take some equipment and shoot some stuff, maybe a Midnight Gaming Society and maybe some sort of unfiltered with Ken Newman. So that will be coming out at some point.
I'm feeling a little like unfiltered left out over here. Like the unfiltered guys they've got like T-shirts all that match, and they get these group photos and fucking shit. I mean, what am I, chopped liver over here? I helped start the fucking channel.
Well, hey man, the thing is, all those promo photos and everything was shit that they came up with, like ideas that they had, and I mean,
well, I don't have time for all that.
I do plan on putting together a shirt for you. I've been trying to put shirts up. All we have to do is sell 5 of them for $20 a piece, and they'll get made and shipped out to people. So I'm gonna do one.
I can do that.
I'm going to do one with your design on it, and then any of the money that we get from that, which I think ultimately if we sell 5 shirts we make like $20 or something, but that'll go towards whatever project the shirt comes from, If it's there's one for the Unfiltered, I just put a ZTO shirt up, Ray McGuff shirt will be coming, Gromy Show shirt, all the programs will have one. Right. But it's kind of like a Kickstarter thing. If people don't buy the shirts, there's a time limit, and then they don't get made if people don't buy them up. So hopefully we can get these things made. I've seen other people do it successfully, so hopefully we can too. And
all right,
as far as I know, it's all quality. I haven't heard any. I mean, like there's some Earwolf podcasts that get shirts made through Teespring, so they're like one of the top-notch podcast providers out there. So hopefully we can get some fans to buy shirts. Otherwise, we'll have some out in the spring anyways. I'm buying some. So
cool.
All right, man. Well, thanks for joining me, and we're going to do one of these next week. We're going to try to do it weekly, or...
Yeah, I'm cool with that. If you are until the internet, like that,
right.
That like I was saying, that week, I'll probably be offline. But yeah, if you want to do them every Sunday, I'm usually available. So
that should be cool. We'll shoot for one next Sunday, and then if we can do it, I've got a baby that's going to be popping out at any point. So.
Man. I was going to ask you about that too.
It's not popping out of me, but
no. Are you prepared for all that? You prepared for fatherhood one more time?
it's not like, it's kind of like if you had, let's say you had a cake that might have had too much frosting on it, and then someone decides to put a little bit more frosting on it. At this point, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to eat the cake and shut my fucking mouth. So,
that's a terrific analogy. I love it, Fred.
yeah. But thanks, everybody, for listening to Strange Findings. And join us next time where we'll bring more crazy shit to you. Yeah. See you later.
All right.